Welcome, Wargamers, to another YouTube channel video, where today I will be trying to paint all of this in the next 48 hours. It is 11 metal Uruk-Hai Scouts, plus an Uruk-Hai Drummer, plus Mauhur, and the Uruk Scout Command Pack. So I already have a fine cast drummer from way back when, and he's already undercoated, so I'll just do him for the time being. The Command Pack, as you can see, is not even out of blister yet. And I already have a painted shaman, so I'll be doing the two-handed axeman and the banner bearer, plus what you see in front of you here. I have already test painted one scout from a long time ago, and I've already started a second one, so I've started a little bit, but still a long way to go in 48 hours, ready for a game that I'm playing on Friday. It's currently Wednesday the 8th of January at about 20 past 8 in the morning, so about 48 hours, probably about 6 hours-ish of actual painting time. So let's see if I can get this all done. Right, so here we are with my scouts in front of me ready to go. What I will do is, because these are really darn top heavy, as I will show you here with this, oh my goodness, with this two-handed axeman, like that. So I'm going to need to do something about that, and it's a little bit rainy outside at the moment, but it should hold off later, so I will go out and undercoat those after I've base coated my main scouts and sort of wash them, so while they're drying then I can sort out these two dudes. So I'll probably do all the base coating today and all the highlights tomorrow is the general idea. So I start off by picking out all the metal parts of the scout, so the helmet, the shield, the sword and the chest plate, mostly because for me I find when if I do like the cloth first and anything like that, if I do metal afterwards, I find if I misplace my brush with the metal and get it on the cloth, it's a lot harder to cover up afterwards. So I probably don't paint as generically as a lot of all the pro painters do and what have you, but especially but this is just a quick batch paint kind of idea, so it's much easier if I do the inlay of the metal first, which is deeper and harder to get to, and then the cloth at the top. And then if the cloth colours do go over the metal, then it kind of looks like shading or dirt or anything like that, and it's much easier to cover up and go over again later after the washes and stuff like that. So yep, I literally batch painted just one blob of silver, I think it was lead belcher, just going over every single one of them and getting them all done in one go. I then move on to the cloth, which I think was like an Agrallan earth shade or whatever. It's actually a texture paint, which I use on my Star Wars Legion bases, because if you put it on really thick it cracks and makes a really cool effect. However, if you put it on really thin, it makes a really nice dirty cloth look, which really suits these scouts brilliantly, I think. So I sort of divided up, there's kind of three parts to their costume that makes up the scout. So you could do them all in one colour, but it would look really odd if they're all in one, look like they're in a onesie. So it looked quite prominent that there's some longer cloth near their legs, so I did some of it as I'm pretty sure it's the Agrallan brown, some of it the Scrag brown, which is more of a orangey, reddy brown, and then I also did some greys in there as well, just to split up from the browns. So that was the general idea, is to make some very apparent, very obvious differences, but also they weren't too bold and too different to make them look kind of cartoony and kind of ridiculous. I did look up some context, what's the right way of saying it? Looked up some pictures of them from the films, and actual costumes from that were used in the films, and tried to match a lot of the colours where possible, but also make them a little bit bolder, because quite a lot of them were very, very dark grey, almost black, and then very, very dull brown. So sort of brightened it up a little bit, but kind of kept to the same sort of regime. Okay, so I have now done a base layer on all of the Metal Scouts and have coated them in Agrax Earthshade. So they are currently just drying in all the crevices. I haven't absolutely drowned them in the wash like I normally would to get a really shadowy effect, because I painted them quite dark anyway, and the highlights won't be too bright either, because I want them to look quite dirty and rusty looking. So that's all of them done. Mauhur is partially done. I've just got to finish up his cloak and his skin, and then I'll do a wash on him. Same for the little drummer boy. And yeah, so they're all at the same place. Obviously I had one completed already, so they all look roughly like him. However, I am batch painting 11 in one go, so they won't look quite as detailed. That's something I'll add on at some point, because they have to be ready by Friday. I want them. They will be just this base layer with the wash like I've done, and then just a quick nice highlight, and they should look a good decent tabletop standard, and I'll go back to them at some point in the future and make them look nice and pretty. Currently outside I have now undercoated the banner bearer and the two-handed axe captain, so we'll see how that goes. So it is now day 2 of the 48-hour painting a lot challenge. The half of the Uruk-Hai Scout Command Pack, the 11 Metal Scouts plus a drummer plus Mauhur, so quite a lot to undertake. If I didn't say yesterday, it is now Thursday by the way, if I didn't say yesterday, I do actually only have about between 6 and 7 hours actual painting time in that 48-hour frame, so about another 3.5 hours spare today, and perhaps another 1 tomorrow morning. I might be able to weasel in a couple hours this evening at work cheekily, but we'll see how that goes. So this morning the plan is so this guy is undercoated, ready to put my base layer on, as is the banner bearer, which is these models are just so good. They're really, really cool. I even forgot this model existed until they showed off the command pack again, and obviously we always knew that this one was around and everyone was calling for it, and GW delivered and finally released the model once again in metal as well, which is very, very nice. Like I said before, I'm going to have them all look roughly like this guy, but probably a bit darker and a bit dirtier, because obviously I'm doing a quick paint job on them. Is that going to focus on him? Never does. You know my videos by now, they never do. So yeah, they're going to be a lot darker, a lot dirtier, because they're going to be a lot quicker painted, but they will look decent on the tabletop, which hopefully you can kind of see. They look the part. So yeah, it'll be the base coats of these guys and highlighting the rest. So while these are drying from their wash, I'll be getting on with the rest of them around about now. I've been doing the exact same thing with the captain and the banner bearer, but because I only had these two to do for the day, I put a little bit more effort in just keeping it a lot neater, a lot tidier, going over little odd mistakes, and yeah, essentially. So I started off with the metal again, like I said before, because I find it easier, and then go onto the cloth, and then mix the nice grey together and add that in as well, and then I normally wash it all first and then pick out details and what have you afterwards, because it's always very messy when you do the base coat anyway. That's kind of the idea of the wash, I suppose. So it's a little bit later on now. Can't remember what I said in the last clip, but we have got in front of us all the Metal Scouts and the drummer and Mauhur, to a point that I'm happy with them to be on the tabletop. They all look very dirty and rusty and yeah, just filthy and dark and pretty damn cool. I've just got little bits, so for example, to go back another point in time, just like pick out the armour highlights and little bits like the feathers on the arrow and perhaps a few of the straps, and just sort of tidy it up a little bit. But they are pretty okay for about 5 hours of painting. These two are just about dry, ready to get their highlights and their next layer, and then that should be everything ready for tomorrow, which I don't know when it'll be uploaded, but there will be a battle report featuring these guys against a cool Riders of Rohan list, so definitely look out for that as well. So here they are in all their glory. I've included Uruk in front here just so you can see how he matches to my previously painted scouts, and how they all do fit in uniform together. So there are still little bits to touch up on these guys, such as the banner. I just need to do the head at the top and perhaps put like a white hand on it, but other than that he is pretty much there, 95% of the way there. Perhaps add a little bit of more to the base, and then just pick out things like highlighting the edge of the swords, brightening up the metal on the helmets and on the chest plates, pick out buckles and straps, just the refinery parts. But other than that, they are good to go for the tabletop. They look pretty darn good, I would say, for about, not to toot my own horn, but for about 6 hours painting, minus Uruk of course. I'm pretty happy with that. Also just got to do Mauhur's rock on there, and then just pick out eyes and teeth and all the small details. Just a quick note on the rims of the bases. Some of you may be wondering why I've gone for the slightly old school, more cartoony, less the sort of the green rim around the bases, and that is because normally I'd go for a dark colour, dark brown, or just black, leave them like that. But that is because I got an Uruk army, which is actually in this case right now, from somebody that was really nicely painted, and it had they all had the green rims on, and I didn't really fancy, and it was a 100+ model army, and I didn't really fancy changing all of the bases when they're actually all quite nice. And also it was quite nostalgic for me, because it reminded me of the battle games in Middle-earth sort of scheme. Well, they all used to have that rim, and the bases that they came on that I bought when I bought the entire army were not custom ones, not like Generation Shift ones or shop-bought ones. They were homemade done, it seems, and I didn't know really how to replicate that. And also I'm quite lazy, so I bought these. These Hero Scenic bases are really good. They're the cheapest ones I could find on eBay pretty much, such as this one. But you can tell where it is, they are quite cheap because the top sort of spills over the side and all that stuff, which I guess if you like that sort of thing, but I prefer to have a clean sort of trim around the edge. But they look pretty cool and scenic, and they do look, they do fit in well. If I just grab one of the Uruk-Hai as an example, there, they do fit in quite well, I think. So yeah, that's the reason why they're like that. Like I say, I will pick out more details on each of these, but for now they will do just fine. I am thinking about taking these to a tournament. I'm still undecided, but we'll see how we go. There will be a battle report coming up in the next few days, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But until then, thank you for watching all the way through my progress of these few models over the last sort of 2 days for me anyway. And yeah, look out for future videos. Don't forget to subscribe up the top left here, and check out other videos down the bottom.